off of a point and shoot mixed with the craziest computer I'd ever seen. There were all these buttons I didn't understand. I'm kind of a tech guy, and the learning curve was actually surprisingly fast. I started to do some courses at Henry School of Imaging, and it was amazing how quickly things came together. That's the first picture I ever took with my D7000. And that's not to show how quickly things came together. That's just to show Andrew looking like a dork. So here's the kind of images I started to take in manual mode. I wanted to get a nice shot of my guitar. This is obviously suffering from my hands shaking. Got a little bit of instruction. Started to get the shot that I was looking for with a shallow depth of field. It's exposed properly. I've got the shutter speed that's fast enough to pull it off, and I'm playing with the aperture to compensate for the shutter speed. It's amazing how quickly things start to come together. And if you want to learn these things, there's a lot of ways to go about that at Henry's. They have several courses to offer. You can do a 6-week course, which is the kind of thing I signed up for. I think you guys offer some privates as well. Yeah, they offer private lessons as well, which is a great way to go too. I started to get really interested in night shots, particularly some longer exposure night shots. This one's obviously underexposed. This one's overexposed. I was standing on the Glen Road Bridge with Andrew, and you were actually walking me through how to get the kind of shot I desired here. Now, this is a TTC bus going by on the Glen Road Bridge, and it was so exciting for me to get that image, you know, to envision something, to want that kind of light trail image, have no idea how to get it, and then be successful, just tinkering with a couple of variables. I mean, I think that's part of the beauty. Well, it's a huge part of the beauty of digital photography. You've got so much memory that you can burn through an experiment, and you can see the result right there, right then. Play with things, bracket your exposures, try all those things, and get a result that you're really proud of. And it's not just luck. Not very flattering. But what I was going for was artistic motion blur. And I didn't get it right, but I kept trying, and I'm starting to get artistic photographic results that are the result of me doing what I intended to do with the camera. And that's a big difference. You know, I used to take thousands of shots and then spend hours and hours and hours whittling those shots down to a couple of hundred usable shots. Now I'm taking the time to look at the settings for what I'm trying to achieve with my camera, and I'm getting the shots within a couple of experiments. And then my camera's set up, and I can go for the photo I want. It's another thing I just wanted to try. I wanted to try a long exposure motion blur shot to get this waterfall in Hawaii. And I called up Dave and said, how do I do this? What do I do? And he just said, well, you need a neutral density filter, you need a polarizer, put those things on, look for this sort of length of exposure. You're going to have to watch for how much light's coming in. And I'm taking shots that I intend to take. It really is a revelation. Speaking of revelations, I was just outside a show in upstate New York where the world almost came to an end. Point is, I'm starting to be able to take control of the camera and get shots that I like. I've been really fascinated with night photography, particularly astrophotography. I've been doing some long exposure stuff up at my cottage. And, you know, these are shots I'm super excited about. These are 30-second exposures on a nice still night across the lake. This was a suggestion of Dave's, actually, because I've been sending him a bunch of the astrophotography I've been doing. In this one, it's about a 25-second exposure, and then right in the last couple seconds, I just blasted my boathouse with a flashlight. I wish I hadn't caught the tree from the deck as well, but it ended up being a kind of interesting sort of fantasy image. All of this light is coming from a small bonfire. So I'm doing a long exposure so I can get the stars to pop out. But the trees are all illuminated just from a bonfire in about 15 or 17